Hello you guys, this is Kalatius, and for this video, I don't think it's going to be a long video. So we have a event going on that I actually thought it cost diamonds, but that's what I get for not reading it very properly. So in this case, let's see. Well, actually, it's kind of free. It's not free if you're a new player, though, because if you're a new player, you will not have the medals for this. And for you to get the medals, obviously, right away, is you have to spend a lot. Well, I don't know how much exactly, but what you do is you go to box office contest. I'm pretty sure somebody could tell you. See, it's like 1,200, and then you can do the addition of how much you need. You do need 50, though, so that's the problem. I don't have to wait. Okay. Like I said, easy event, nothing too difficult. I'm glad this one is free. This is a gorgeous SR card. I really like it. Does this have a date? I wonder if it does. Oh, it takes a camera, huh? Hold on, let me see. It does have a date. Oh, interesting. So like I said, I guess it finished now. Very short video, I think. Okay. I think this event is up for at least 7 days. Oh, no, it's not. Looks like for 10 days. I wonder what our next event is going to be. Because whatever it is, I can afford it, but I don't want to, like, keep overspending. Yeah, that, which, by the way, I did notice almost immediately that it's an execution card. And the only other SR execution of Victor I have is Rainfall. So that stood out to me. Definitely don't have a lot of execution. Same with Lycian and SSR. Kiro absolutely does have execution. I just don't have them. It's a very pretty card. I really like it. Wonder what the date is like. I want to show you the evolved version. Is she sleeping? Does she have something on her eye? It's so hard to tell. Oh no, it's just her fingers. Okay. It's like she got tired. Victor just picked her up and moved her. Or taking her home, maybe. Rainy date. I coaxed Victor into visiting the something marriage tree and making wishes. In the misty rain, I heard an unexpected oath. That's cute. I don't know, should I? You know what? Let's go for it. The slate road stretched on, and not far away was a flowing river with an arch bridge over it, under which an old man passed through a boat. The air in the ancient town was humid and misty, and everything seemed gentle through the fog. Everything looked beautiful and timeless in the fog. It was the sample film I saw in the editing room, which introduced an ancient town with a long history. It seemed to not be a popular attraction, with nothing special, but it was peaceful and quiet. The most famous attraction there was the something temple, the temple in the center of the town. I heard that praying for fate of love at the temple was very efficacious. Fate of love. Hearing the word, the name Victor suddenly popped into my mind. I looked at the quiet bridge in the picture and dialed Victor's number. Soon his voice came from the receiver.
Hello, what is it?
I don't know. I saw an ancient town in the sample video. It's peaceful and quiet with not too many tourists.
You want to go?
Yeah, yes. I'm sorry, yes, and I'm quite interested in the ancient temple.
Taoist temple.
Taoist temple? I didn't know if it was my illusion, but listening to Victor's tone, I felt that he had already guessed my purpose. That Taoist temple is the most famous attraction in the ancient town. Would you like to visit it?
How about just telling me directly what you want?
Oh, well, sure enough, he saw me through. I want to pray for my career, health, and marriage. Oh. My voice trailed off, unsure if I wanted to charge myself up or convince Victor out of nowhere. I said, "It is said to be very efficacious. Would you like to try?" I charged myself up to invite Victor directly, but ushered in an unexpected answer. Goodbye. Then let's just go to the ancient town. The ancient town is also fun. And this time, I want to go collect some program materials. As the investor, you must support my work, so you can't refuse. It was probably my strong reasoning that persuaded Victor. Just like that, the next morning, we came to Mengshan ancient town together. Standing on the stone bridge and looking into the distance, a big tree covered with red paper in the center of the town was very conspicuous. That was the marriage tree in the courtyard of Mengshan Taoist temple, standing in the misty rain. Eye-catching, but not dazzling. How about it? I wasn't wrong, right? Isn't this breathtaking? The picturesque scene greeted me, and I turned around to look at Victor excitedly, eager to share my happiness with him. But the next second, I saw his sculpted profile and stopped talking. Oh, he looked into the distance as if towards the fiery red of that tree. Although it wasn't a popular scenic spot, there were still many places worth visiting in Mengshan ancient town. For example, the 8 scenic spots that are under construction, including Foggy Mountain, Peach Blossom Stream, and so on. But the most thing that attracts me is Mengshan Taoist temple. That was rejected by Victor because he's an asshole. Always. The house over there, but he has his awesome moments too. The house over there was built in the the dynasty. Isn't it amazing? But the Mengshan Taoist temple has a history of nearly 1,000 years. Isn't it more amazing? Damn, that's a lot of years, man. Look at the eaves. It is said that the eaves of Mengshan Taoist temple are even more exquisite. This tree is so spectacular, but the biggest tree in this ancient town is the marriage tree at Mengshan Taoist temple. Victor, since we are here... I am not listening to a word you're saying. I glanced at Victor. He was looking at the inscription with his arms folded, ignoring what I was saying about the Mengshan Taoist temple. I sighed and couldn't help feeling a little lost. Would my wish to make a wish with Victor fail to come true? I followed Victor's gaze and stepped forward to see the cursive inscription on the tablet. Can joy be found in the mountains? I think so. Oh my god. Unless you have a fear of heights, I'm pretty sure. Although I definitely do have a fear of heights. I actually wouldn't mind going to a mountain. I couldn't recognize the words following make.
Can joy be found in the mountains? Make liquor with pine flowers, and make tea with spring water.
Interesting. Huh? I studied for a while. I looked for a while to find the inscription on the tablet to be indeed what Victor said. This is Huan verse. I have never read about this one before. Is it reunion during full moon? Hear me. Victor smiled slightly. Then a drop of water fell on top of my head, interrupting my thoughts. The pitter-patter of raindrops was increasingly fast and dense. Before I could react, I was shrouded in a shadow, and what followed was Victor's unique, reassuring smell. I blushed immediately.
Let's go.
Of course, Victor held me under his suit, covering me to the eaves not far away. In the rain and mist, only the sound of rain could be heard. The landscape and buildings seemed like picturesque scenes in Chinese paintings. I couldn't help reaching out my hand, and some cool raindrops fell on my palm, contrasting my hot cheeks. It's so comfortable. Do you want to try?
No.
Do you want to try what? Honto? I held a handful of water and showed it to him as my trophy. Victor was speechless, and before he spoke, I grabbed his hand. Pitter patter, drop, drop, drop. A few drops of water fell on his palm. Isn't the coolness very comfortable?
Childish.
God damn it, Victor. Childish was what he said, but his tightly frowned brows relaxed for quite a bit. Childish is what he said, but in reality, he likes it. Yeah. The rain slid down the eaves, gradually forming a rain curtain, which isolated us in a small solitary world. I wiped off the rain on my palms, took out my phone, and took a picture of the eaves behind the curtain. It was beautiful in a unique way in the mist. The lens slowly shifted to the right until Victor's face appeared in the picture. Gently pressing the capture button, and snap, the silence between us was broken, and Victor turned to me. I hid the phone hurriedly behind me and stood up. I'm just keeping it as a keepsake, and I promise not to post it anywhere. Don't ask me to delete it, please.
When did I ask you to delete it?
You didn't ask, but you would probably ask her of that. He raised his eyebrows and reached out to me.
Pass me the phone.
Why? Why, didn't you say I could keep it? Although a little confused, I still passed Victor the phone. Victor took my phone without saying anything and instead took a picture of me as the answer. Hey, why did you suddenly take a picture of me?
Isn't it for a keepsake?
I reached out to get my phone back, but Victor just raised his hand slightly, glanced at the phone screen and smiled. Yeah, I'm not giving you the phone.
The scenery is great, except for that person in the background.
Oh? That's yours. Show it to me. Oh, that's yours. Show it to me. I tiptoed to grab my phone and found the photo Victor took. It's a nice picture. Relieved, I swiped the screen and Victor's profile appeared on the screen. He was looking towards an unknown distance in the photo, and his eyes seemed light and cold in the rain. Hold on. Okay. And Victor in real life. I looked up, meeting Victor's gaze. The rain and mist softened the usual sharpness in his eyes, and they looked gentle and earnest. Suddenly, I couldn't hear the sound of the rain, nor could I see its trace, as if time stopped for a moment. Did you pause time? I softly asked Victor, yet finding a flash of astonishment in his eyes. I could hear the sound of rain again, but it was much slower. Without noticing, the rain seemed to have stopped. Victor glanced outside the eaves.
The rain stopped.
I'm recording?
Let's go.
It's okay. The rain stopped. Oh, did he say that? I did not even hear him. It's still early. We have already visited all the attractions except for the Mingxin Taoist temple. I thought Victor wanted to return to Loveland City, but I never thought he would mean...
To the Taoist temple.
Okay. Anytime they show this profile, I'm like, oh my god, his profile like this is hot. I'm like, his ass. I'm like, okay. Looking at how surprised I was, Victor just smiled and didn't explain any further. I know it didn't say any further, but I wanted to add that word. Probably because, of the rain, the stony road became extremely slippery and we could be figure skating if we were not careful enough. That's funny. Oh, this scene or picture. I took each step carefully and didn't expect that when we finally reached the Maoxin Taoist temple, colorful clouds have hung in the sky. This quiet ancient town looked even more scenic, embellished by the evening glow. Soon, we saw the magical marriage tree in the Taoist temple with pieces of red paper covering screen leaves. Aren't those like stuff that you write on and you make a wish, right? Like everlasting fire. As I was amazed by the sight, I slipped and fell backwards. My shoulder was pulled, and I had fallen to Victor's arms next. I could hear his heartbeat, which seemed to be unsettling as my breathing. I quickly stood upright and patted my chest with my heart still fluttering with fear. I raised my head only to see Victor frowning.
As expected.
As expected, I knew it was my fault, so I took Victor's hand before he could say, Baka. Surprisingly, though, hell has frozen over. He did not say Baka. Victor said nothing more and just held my fingertips in his palm firmly. The warmth seemed to almost ignite me. The warmth spread through my body. Ignite me? What the fuck? The Meishin Taoist temple wasn't big. I looked around, but didn't see any red paper. Only an old Taoist. Excuse me, where can I buy the red paper for praying? Yeah. The old Taoist had a long white beard and looked kind of friendly, smiled and looked at me, and then Victor answering irrelevantly. Little girl, are you here to pray for the fate of love? The Taoist saw me through at once, and my usual eloquence suddenly stopped working. I'm praying for everything, everything. As my voice became softer, the old Taoist only touched his beard and kept smiling. The man who suits you best is between heaven and earth, and within the flow of time. Oh, don't let him ship, huh? Hearing that, I was confused, I don't know, for a bit before understanding what he meant, and turned to look at Victor carefully. Unexpectedly, he was slightly pursing his lips, listening attentively. He seemed to have noticed my gaze and turned around too. As our eyes met, I quickly looked away and pretended to look elsewhere. No one spoke for a while until the old Taoist chuckled and broke the incense-filled silence. It rained today, and the red papers were soaked, so I removed them. But I can bring you to the backyard to try your luck. Maybe you can still find a good one there. Thank you, thank you. Aw. I nodded, trying to keep up with the old Taoist, but was suddenly held on to, by Victor.
I'll go with him. Just wait here and don't go anywhere else.
Oh? Doshta, why? He looked down at my feet, and I followed, but found nothing special except a little mud on my shoes.
There's no why.
Yeah, just listen to what the fuck Victor says, okay? I didn't call you Baka, but you still gotta listen to me. I heard Victor's voice overhead, and before I looked up, he had already turned around and walked to the backyard with the old Taoist. Soon, Victor returned and handed me the red paper in his hands. Why did you buy so many? 1, 2, 3, 6 in total?
Don't you have a lot of wishes? Now you can take your time writing them.
But for something like fate of love, 1 paper is enough. I opened my mouth, but swallowed that sentence back. I took the 6 red papers and carefully packed 5 of them into my bag, leaving only 1 in my hand. 1 is enough. I glanced at Victor, and he raised his eyebrows with interest.
What do you want to write?
No peeking, absolutely not. I blocked his vision with my body, picked up a pen, and wrote a few words on the paper, then added a heart shape. After writing, I took Victor into the yard, preparing to find a place to tie the red paper. I remember the higher, the better. I remember the introduction in the sample video. Tiptoed, stretched my arms desperately, trying to tie it a little higher. Suddenly, a pair of hands took the red paper from me and tied it very high up with a red thread. Among the green leaves, this only piece of red of paper was especially eye-catching. I looked up and felt that the red paper was far away from me and became more and more blurred. Victor's face, however, became clearer and clearer. It wasn't until I heard the thumping heartbeat did I suddenly realize that I was in the arms of Victor. His warmth slowly spread to my body, flowing to every corner. He held my hand before I could withdraw, his palm warm and dry.
Your hands are so cold.
Cold, huh? As he said that, he kept on holding my hands for a long time. I could also feel his warmth behind me, between heaven and earth, and within the flow of time. The old man's words seemed to ring in my ears again. I looked at Victor's face, and my face suddenly felt a little hot. The verdant green and fire red all over the tree rattled into the breeze. The red paper we just tied slightly, wavering in the wind. On it was my name and Victor's, and a heart shape. Aw. The early autumn rain was totally unreasonable, coming and going as if it wanted. As soon as we were about to leave the ancient town, it started raining again. Illuminated by the afterglow of the setting sun, it became the most beautiful rain curtain. I think it's the first time I'm seeing this background. That's for sure. Victor and I sat side by side in a small pavilion, watching the rain outside silently. It was strange that I hadn't found the shop selling umbrellas the whole day. There such a few tourists here that no one wanted to do this? The sky was getting darker and darker, as the buildings in the ancient town were very short. I could even see the lights in the distant cities. The pattering rain and warm yellow lights blurred my vision, the sound of the rain ticking, drawing out my exhaustion after the long day. I just felt my eyelids were getting heavier, and even Victor's face gradually blurred. The light was getting weaker and weaker, until it totally disappeared. Somehow, the girl's head had rested on Victor, so she just fell asleep.
How can you fall asleep this way?
Well, main character, that's for sure. Victor sighed softly, but he was smiling. His gaze rested on the girl's sleeping face, as if he was looking at the most precious being. Oh, without the hustle and bustle of the crowds, the sound of the raindrops dominated. Without the busy and noisy crowds from the outside, the sound of the raindrops dominated the world. Tick tock. Time was passing by, and the puddles on the road rippled. I seemed to have dreamed about lying on soft clouds while the sun gently shone on me, warming me. I opened my eyes in a daze, and the scene in front of me had changed dramatically. The cloud and sun in my dream were gone, and the water town was replaced by neon lights, and I could only see Victor's dark shirt, and at that moment, I was leaning on his back. Realizing this, I didn't even want to know how to react. Panicked and wanted to pull away, but felt something slipping off my back. I reached for it, realizing it was Victor's coat.
Awake?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hot. Victor's voice came from the front. No, I'm not awake. I couldn't see his expression. It could only answer, yes, my love.
Then get off my
what'd you
back.
say? Nothing. What'd you say? Nothing. Then get off. Fuck you. Eh?
How long do you want to lean on it?
Forever? Maybe it was the smile in Victor's voice that encouraged me, or maybe the scene where the red paper was tied before made me bold. I blinked, threw my arms around Victor's neck, laid on his back, with my cheeks pressing tightly on his shirt. I will never let go of you. No, I just woke up. I don't have enough strength. I have already leaned on your back for so long anyway. It shouldn't matter if I stay here longer.
What did you say?
What did you say? I said nothing. Though I said that, I still stuck myself firmly to Victor's back like an adhesive tape. Adhesive tape. He smiled, and with the night wind, I heard him say,
Then stay forever.
oh, thank you. Through the thin layer of his shirt, his warmth kept spreading all over me. You said it. No takesy backs. My voice was so soft that it sounded almost like I was talking in my sleep. And so was Victor's answer.
I never break my promises.
Thank you. I looked at the back of Victor's neck and could smell the faint smell of rain on his body and could touch his hair softly. It seemed that his wide back was my warmest what? Victor, are you tired? Why didn't you wake me up before? Because I didn't want to. My voice was soft, but Victor just laughed in the night wind. The smile seemed to be just an illusion created by the dark.
Someone slept too soundly to be woken up.
Yeah.
She was still holding onto my clothes and wouldn't let go.
Okay. I looked at his coat in my hand and didn't dare to imagine the scene just now. I could only feel my face burning. I buried my hot face in Victor's neck, and inexplicable joy filled my heart, almost overflowing. Oh my God. Jesus. Lord help me. That image of Victor's face. Oh my God, that's hot. And she looks so happy. At the beckoning of my heart, I reached out and hugged Victor tightly, probably startled by the sudden movement. Victor's body stiffened for an instant. It was after a while, only then he turned around.
What are you doing? Stop fidgeting or else get down and walk for yourself.
I smiled and hugged him even tighter, leaning close to his ears. No, this is a thank you gift. Don't you like it? And you were the one who said I could stay longer. No driving me away allowed. Victor turned around and took a few steps. Then he spoke again with a smile in his
A
voice.
thank you gift from a dummy?
Yeah, he called us dummy, of course. It's a thank you gift for you. It's a thank you gift for you carrying me down the mountain. I leaned in closer as I said that, till our head hairs entwined, till breath swept his neck, till my cheeks were pressing against his ear. The burning heat from her touch spread all over our bodies. That's so hot. I leaned on Victor's shoulder and looked at his faintly reddish ears, thinking my face was probably that red too myself. I suddenly remembered the red among the green leaves. Thinking of the red paper that fluttered with the wind, I couldn't help asking Victor, Victor,
Yes?
yes. At first, you refused to go to the Taoist temple. Why did you suddenly agree again? It's Victor, okay? Victor paused. The gentle night breeze blew his hair, which brushed against my cheek, and even my heart itched a bit.
Because there's a dummy who really wanted to.
Victor tilted his head slightly, and in his eyes, I saw myself amongst the city lights. Ooh.
I once said that I would go anywhere you want to go.
Aw. I could feel the smile in his low voice, which was like the warm light in the distance, melting me bit by bit. For a moment, I felt as if I had received the tenderness and pampering of the whole world. As night fell, the lights were just lit. The tranquility of the ancient town was drifting further away from us as we watched the lights from afar. It seemed that we would travel to the deepest of the neon light together, to the end of the world. That was so cute. Attracted by the pictures, I invited Victor to visit an ancient town with me. Although Victor refused my suggestion to go to the Taoist temple to pray for marriage, I was still curious about the marriage tree the moment I saw it. I wanted to persuade Victor to go to the Taoist temple, but he showed the least interest. Suddenly, it began to rain, bringing a little pleasing coolness. When we were sheltering from the rain, Victor seemed to have paused time. After the rain, Victor suddenly agreed to go to the Taoist temple. We came across an old Taoist priest who predicted for me my fate of love. He told me that my mistress was between heaven and earth within time. The journey made me exhausted, and listening to the rainfall, I fell asleep. I woke up to find myself leaning on Victor's back towards the colorful neon lights. We seemed to be walking together to the end of the world. It was so cute. I can't wait to get the evolved version of this. Where does this state go to? Oh, I see, it happened. Oh yeah, I forgot you can get rewards. That was cute. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad they brought that too. That was so adorable. Rainy date. Aw. It's so cute. I don't know, I really enjoyed that date. I'm really glad I read it. So, are raindrops going on your head with shouting? I don't think my reaction was over the top. Wait. Yeah, prove it. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna read the wedding dates because that's 4 of them and that is a lot. I don't know when, but I promise you one day I will read them. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I didn't expect to read the date. It was a lot of fun reading it. It was a pretty cute date. And I will see you next time, my friends.